Today we're going to talk about the top 5 must-have cards for any green deck that you're trying to build in the Digimon card game. Digimon fans, welcome back to another top list video where I'll be showing you guys what the top 5 must-have cards or even staples for any green deck that you're trying to build for the Digimon TCG in 2023. Keep in mind this is my very own list based on my personal opinion, and all the cards that I include here are of the time of making this video. The cards that we're going to be talking about today will be specifically to only green, which I will not include any generic cards that come in multiple colors such as memory boosts, hybrids, and effect blockers. Speaking of which, we actually covered those cards already in my other top 6 must-have staple cards for 2023, and that takes into consideration for all the colors for the game. So if you haven't checked that video out yet, then be sure to do so as well. I'll leave a link on the iCard on the top right and in the description box down below. Once again, there is no particular order where these staples rank, but they will certainly be helpful for any of you guys who want to optimize your green-based decks, so let's jump right into it. I'm also super excited to announce a new feature on my channel where I launched my very first ever YouTube membership called the Avault Club. By joining, you will have access to exclusive perks and contents that regular viewers don't have. Perks include the Avault Club membership badge, and the best part is that you'll be able to see members only community posts featuring my first draft deck profiles even before the video comes out. You will see more updates by me for every deck profile release and even updated deck lists and adjustments with all the lists. Your comments and questions will also have priority replies from me. So what are you guys waiting for? Click on the join button right now. Thank you all so much for the support, and I look forward to engaging with you guys. To start off with our very first green card, I want to talk about Hidden Potential Discovered, also known as HPD for short. This is an option card that came out in BT3 and will be reprinted with a new alt art as a campaign rare for BT11, which I'm super excited for to open. It has a very nice sleek new art and I'm definitely super happy about it. Speaking of BT11, it is coming out real soon, and if you guys are just excited for the new set, I'll be opening it on the channel of course. Then be sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell right now to stay tuned. For a zero cost, its main effect lets you suspend one of your own Digimon to reduce the digivolution cost of one of your green Digimon that will be digivolving the next time. And then its security effect lets you add it to your hand. One of green's biggest advantages is reducing digivolution costs, which lets you turbo build your stacks very quickly. And HPD essentially lets you go into your level 6s so quickly for free. By paying effectively no memory to play this card, green decks can combo off and gain so much advantages just in one single turn. This card was so powerful, especially in the early days of the card game, and it was restricted down to 1 even today as it continues to stay on the restricted list. As for my own opinion, I do not see this card coming off the restricted list anytime soon. And that is why you should definitely get yourself at least one copy of this card. For the next green card, I actually have a couple that I wanted to talk about, which are level 5s with the effects of digisorption, and that is why I decided to bundle them all together into this one single section. These cards include Argomon level 5 from BT2, Blossomon from BT3, and Cherrymon from BT10. Digisorption is a mechanic specialized for green, where by suspending one of your own Digimon, you can reduce the digivolution cost of that particular level 5 Digimon you're trying to digivolve into. If that sounds familiar to you, it's because digisorption mechanic is basically like having HPD built into every single Digimon card itself. The first one we have is the level 5 Argomon, which was also reprinted with an alt art in Tournament Pack 2. Argomon has digisorption -3. It provides an inheritable effect of when attacking, you may play a level 3 green Digimon card from your hand suspended for free. Since this effect is also not once per turn, effects that would let you unsuspend a Digimon can greatly benefit it to help you swarm the board, and even utilize its on-play effects on the level 3 Digimon played via this effect. Similar to HPD, we talked about that this card is also restricted down to 1 during the same time. And once again, this is one of the many green cards I would consider adding immediately as a one-off in any of my green decks when I build them. And then we also have Blossomon, which is another digisorption -3, just like Argomon. And this card was also reprinted as an alt art for Tamer Party Volume 5, which was handed out to players who participated at their local store tournaments. Unlike Argomon level 5, Blossomon doesn't provide any other effects other than the digisorption. Once again, having the option to digivolve into a level 5 for free provides huge advantages when building your stack. Furthermore, this card can be played with 4 copies and is not restricted at all, and because of that, I recommend getting a playset for sure. As for Cherrymon, it has digisorption of -2 instead of 3, and that would effectively make it a cost 1 to digivolve level 5. Although not as good as Argomon and Blossomon's digisorption effect, the main reason why I decided to include this card is because it has a secondary effect which is actually very good. During your opponent's turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may switch the attack target to one of your suspended Digimon instead. This effect is almost like a pseudo blocker effect, and being able to redirect your opponent's attacks towards a stronger Digimon that you have that is suspended can be really good at disrupting or delaying their plays, and it provides green decks some form of defense built in as well. You mostly only need to play 2 to 3 copies of this card in your green deck, since you would always tend to prioritize your Argomon and Blossomon before this card, but still worth picking up a playset since it's just a common card. For the third card, we have Nidhoggmon, which debuted in BT4 Great Legend. I think this card can be considered more of a tech card rather than a staple, but has a very good effect that does see play every now and then. When digivolving, you digiburst 4, and then you suspend all your opponent's Digimon with 5000 DP or less. Afterwards, you bottom deck all your opponent's Digimon that are suspended. In the early days of Digimon, this card was extremely powerful as it can punish wide boards and wipe them out immediately, forcing your opponents to almost restart the game from ground zero. And the main reason why I included this card and wanted to talk about it is because it can be teched into pretty much any green deck since its effect is so generic. However, I feel that the game has shifted towards a different direction and has power crept to a new level where this card may be less relevant than it used to be. But otherwise, having 1 or 2 copies as a backup can always come in handy. For the fourth card, we have Mimi from BT1, and it was also reprinted in Tournament Pack 3. Mimi is your main go-to green memory tamer, and her secondary effect lets you hatch a Digi-Egg card to an empty space or move 1 level 3 or higher Digimon from your raising area to the battle area as long as you have a level 5 or higher green Digimon in play. Being able to hatch an egg turn faster can give you huge boosts throughout the game state and supports how fast the green that can be at times. It can even contribute towards game-winning plays too. Another really cool combo is if you have 2 Mimis, where one of them will be used to hatch an egg and then the other one to promote the Digimon right after. And since it is promoted from the raising area to the battle area, that Digimon can even make an attack the same turn as well. Therefore, most green decks would play 2 to 3 copies of this card, and I definitely suggest having at least 3 of for this particular tamer. For the 5th and final card for today, it will be Ground Fang from BT9. For 8 memory, you return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon and tamer to the bottom of the owner's deck. A very good generic removal option card for green for sure. Although not an essential staple as I would say, also more of a tech choice. Its effect is generic enough that you could add it to any green deck. As I mentioned in many of my videos, bottom decking your opponent's cards is one of the best forms of removal in my opinion. Especially this card lets you get rid of your opponent's tamers as well. And then its security effects lets you activate its main effect for free. Another card that is very similar is Grand Del Sol from BT10. Also for initial 8 costs, it can potentially reduce its cost by 2 if you have 2 or more suspended Digimon on your side. Its main effect suspends one of your opponent's Digimon, and then you can bottom deck one of their suspended Digimon afterwards. Its security effect also lets you activate its main effect for free. I feel that the effect of Grand Del Sol is actually more dedicated towards the Bloomlord deck, due to its special requirements of how you can reduce its costs. Overall, some players would tech in only 1 copy of either of these cards as their defensive removal option for their deck. But getting a playset wouldn't hurt anyways since they're very accessible. That will wrap up for the top 5 must-have green cards for the Digimon card game. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. What do you guys think about the card list that I came up with? Are there any other cards I missed out or some other cards you guys would consider as must-haves for green decks as well? Then be sure to share your thoughts with me and everyone else in the comments down below. If you guys want to see me talk about the other colors remaining, then definitely be sure to subscribe, turn on that notification bell right now to stay tuned as well. And if you haven't checked out the other colors which I covered already, then definitely be sure to watch those videos as well. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you in the next video, and this is Avault, signing out.